Part 24. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 231. Chapter 231. She drinks tea. So he spoke and acted in the style of the Blood Evil Alliance. In his heart, he felt that if anything happened, it would be fine to use force to solve it, but in fact there were some things that were not allowed. Fen Ling shook her head. No, I will handle this matter myself. Don't touch it? Yes. Miss Fen, I'm sorry. It's because we didn't take a good look at the surrounding environment. 15 and 16 felt very uneasy. If it weren't for them, things wouldn't be what they are now. Fen Ling was quite surprised by their honesty. She shook her head. It's not just you who are wrong. I was also wrong, but I didn't notice it either. Because there are so many people coming and going in the school, I subconsciously feel that no one will care about us. I am also at fault in this matter, so you don't have to just think that you are at fault. The focus now is to solve this matter, and we will talk about it after the review. Fen Ling smiled and said, don't worry too much, it's just that things will become a little troublesome. 15 and 16 glanced at each other, but they still saw doubts in each other's eyes. They had never met someone so easy to talk to. Actually, this matter is 100% their fault. After all, even if Miss Feng is a special ability user, she should not have any powerful special abilities at her age. However, Dongzi, who knew that Fen Ling, was different. He looked at Fen Ling and nodded happily. The longer he followed Fen Ling, the more he could see the glory of a leader in her. Fen Ling is sometimes really suitable to be a leader. He now knows why the Lord likes this girl. If it weren't for Fen Ling being the Lord's woman, he would also want to pursue such a girl because she is so attractive. Dong Xie got a headache again when he thought of Xiao Mei. He had secretly tested Xiao Mei's attitude recently, but he still looked down upon Fen Ling, even though he secretly told Xiao Mei that Fen Ling was a very powerful girl. He is also a person with special abilities, but Xiao Mei still looks unbelieving. Perhaps you feel that Fen Ling is too small, so even a person with special abilities cannot be very powerful, right? Ji Mei has been following her master for too long, and she has never seen a woman with a powerful special ability beside her, so her thinking has become fixed. Dong Xie sighed and felt that it would take a long time to deal with the devil. I'm going to find Linda, Fen Ling said. In class 3 and 6 of high school, everyone was discussing the matter of Fen Ling. After all, the photo said it was taken by Linda, and everyone was talking around Linda. Princess Linlin, is that Fen Ling really so disgusting? Oh my god, doesn't she find it disgusting to date two men at once? Does she think she is in a world of female supremacy? Who knows, maybe people like to play like this. Don't you see that the two men didn't object? Linda smiled after listening to everyone's words. Okay, don't talk anymore, class is about to start. We just know what Fenglu is like. Don't say it in front of everyone. It won't affect you, okay? I believe the teacher will handle this matter. What to deal with? A cold female voice sounded. Fen Ling? Why are you here? Linda actually wanted to say, how dare you come? She had already posted the photo, but Fen Ling still dared to come to her. Isn't this too shameful? Fen Ling snorted coldly, as a citizen, how should I deal with your casual slander of me? Perhaps you want to go to the court for tea? Court, Linda sneered, although I am studying abroad, don't threaten me. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 232. Chapter 232. Insincerity. I took the photo and I didn't accuse you wrongly, otherwise, how would you explain the origins of those two men? Linda looked at Fen Ling and asked. Fen Ling sneered, maybe you should ask why the school let them in. Linda was stunned, because she really didn't think of this level. But, in short, it's true that you and those two men are together, how do you explain this? I don't need to explain. Feng Ling looked at Linda as if she was looking at a mentally retarded person. It's a new era, not the old era. As long as you stay with a man, you are interested in him. In your foreign country, you start from the stage of development. Don't you contact your father, your brother, your cousin, your blue-faced confidant? Oh, is it that foreign countries are already so backward in development now? Or am I too one-sided? It's just that your family is too backward, so you are really a brainless person? You, how can you say that? I don't allow you to say that about my family. No one had spoken to Linda like this in all her life. In her heart, the country and family where she grew up were among the best. If it weren't for the family saying that fallen leaves return to their roots, she wouldn't have come to this poor place. Looking at Linda's look, Feng Ling could tell what was going on in her mind. She looked at Linda and said, "Sometimes, I think your thinking is very outdated. Perhaps you can change your mind by living here for a while. But now, you must apologize for slandering me at will." 15 or 16. Miss Feng 1516 was a little confused. Didn't he tell them to stay in the dark? Why call them suddenly? Feng Ling didn't explain, just looked at Linda and said, "Did you hear what they called me? Is there any problem with the bodyguard my man gave me?" Your man," Linda suddenly reacted, "why are you so shameless? Weren't you not allowed to fall in love when you were students? You speak so openly of your man, yet you still have no shame." "You are wrong." Feng Ling shook her finger. "First of all, my man does not belong to this school. He did before, but he will not belong after. Ye Qinghan has left Lingyang High School. He has been busy with special ability people recently and has no time to teach class 9 anymore. Furthermore, he entered the school because of her, and now that she is leaving, Ye Qinghan no longer needs to stay there. Second, this rule is for the children of the school, but unfortunately, I do not belong to the children of the school, because I come to this school to work. To be precise, I signed a contract with School Wang. He will give me 20,000 yuan a month. Maybe you would like to see the contents of the contract?" Feng Ling looked at Linda's shocked facial features, her expression unchanged. He held out a third finger and said, "Thirdly, do I have a man? Who is my man? It's none of your business that I'm in love now at the age of 18. Now that I have proven that you slandered me, are you ready to do something?" What? Linda was confused. "Can we still recruit others to be students in China now? Why?" Linda couldn't figure it out, but she knew that if she didn't do something, even the two big and powerful bodyguards behind Feng Ling wouldn't let her go. This is a misunderstanding. I'll just stop filming next time." Feng Ling picked her ears and said, "This doesn't sound like an apology. Linda, I want to hit someone. Sorry. Volume is too low. Sorry. Not sincere. What on earth are you going to do, Feng Ling?" End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 233. Elimination system at the end of chapter 233. After giving Linda a lesson, Feng Ling returned. "Miss Feng, I need to go." Dongzi wanted to say, "Do you need to find someone?" Because from what Linda said, she must have found someone to deal with Feng Ling. Feng Ling shook her head, "No need, I know." "Is this the Feng Ling you are talking about?" Somewhere, a man shrouded in darkness looked at the photos in front of him, his voice hoarse. "Yes, this is Feng Ling. Boss, she is the target we are looking for." "I wonder what you mean?" "All their actions are to attract Feng Ling's attention. Because Feng Ling's special abilities cannot be possessed by them just by killing her, so they want to obtain Feng Ling's special abilities from the side. Don't act rashly. She is not stupid, she knows that someone is looking for her, and at this time, she wants to wait for us. Then what should we do? This was asked by that person's subordinates. Waiting. The man's long fingers pointed at the floor. The sound is quite long. He seemed to know Feng Ling, and he seemed to have been waiting for this day. Feng Ling didn't feel that anyone was waiting for her yet. It's just this day, the day when the provincial and municipal unified examinations end. After the results came out, Feng Ling became the first in Lingyang High School and even the city without any meaning. So far, Feng Ling has become an outstanding representative among teachers. Teachers will also take out Feng Ling from time to time and give it to other people's children. However, Feng Ling didn't feel anything at all. She wouldn't even know what happened if Ye Limo hadn't told her, because at the moment she was at the Blood Evil Alliance with Ye King Han to announce the upcoming annual event. Qing People Mission. The Blood Evil Alliance does not leave any waste, so there will be tasks every year. If the tasks cannot be completed or the standards are not met, the corresponding personnel will have no choice but to leave without any room for maneuver. You should all know the mission well. Ye King Han's voice was cold. He looked at the people below and said, but this time, you will have one more mission. He glanced at Feng Ling, who nodded and stood up. I am your hidden mission for this mission. Find me in the jungle, I will become one of you, and then complete the mission with you. As for how to find me, you need to use your own brains. Of course, by the way, it doesn't mean that the team that runs first will definitely be able to find me. Feng Ling smiled mysteriously. Of course, don't think that you can't find me, because if you don't come to me, I will automatically become a member of the last group. Then the last group is destined to lose, isn't it? Everyone looked at each other and thought so in their hearts. Feng Ling and Ye King Han had expected it, but they didn't say anything. If they both thought that Feng Ling was a drag and didn't want her, then they were wrong. But obviously, it is useless to say anything now. These people won't believe it. Ye King Han also wanted to tell everyone straightforwardly about his little woman's abilities through this mission. I don't want them to look down on my little woman. I'm afraid I'm going to be dragged to death if I'm in the same group as Feng Ling, Ji Mei said disdainfully. She is an ambassador of the 4 ambassadors and does not need to participate in this event because they have more stringent evaluations, all of which were directly evaluated by Ye King Han. However, Xiao Mei's words also directly affected some people's impression of Feng Ling. Many people secretly thought that they must not meet Feng Ling. How could they win if there was such a teammate? It doesn't matter whether they win or not, the point is that their game is a knockout system. If you were eliminated because of Feng Ling, that would be too frustrating. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 234. Chapter 234 Unconditional Belief. Ling Ai, what should we do? Huaquan asked worriedly. This year, they have been the last team. For the team, the result of this game is almost visible, so they are very afraid of what they will do if they really lose. Ling Ai stood there, silent. In fact, he knew very well that the reason why he ranked last every time this year was because his leg was injured. With an injured leg, no matter what, he could only be slower than others. And not faster. It was he who dragged Huaquan down. Huaquan, otherwise, you will leave first this time. Ling Ai said. Huaquan shook his head decisively. No, absolutely not. If I leave first, what will you do? Ling Ai, we are on the same team, either we are together or we don't leave. But Ling Ai wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't say it because he knew very well that even if he said it again, Huaquan would not agree, because Huaquan has such a character. Having always focused on the team, that's why I was always dragged down by him. Of course, if someone wants me to join from the beginning, that's not impossible. Feng Ling stood at the top and looked at them with a smile in her eyes. She said this because she wanted to see if anyone wanted to make a dangerous move. Because Ye Qinghan would not let a person do a hidden mission for no reason, unless there was something on that person. The key is whether they dare to take a gamble. Ling Ai looked at the stage and clenched his fists little by little. Huaquan's eyes widened. Ling Ai, you. Huaquan, you also know my situation. This time, I want to take a gamble and at least send you out, and what he bet on is the Lord. He believed that the Lord would not let a girl who looked extremely weak come on stage for no reason. Feng Ling curled her lips and said, "Okay, is there anyone else who wants to compete?" It was quiet down there. Feng Ling didn't mind either. To be honest, she was surprised that someone wanted her to join from the beginning. She jumped off the 3-meter-high platform casually. Everyone looked at each other and suddenly realized that this girl didn't seem to be as weak as they thought. Feng Ling walked to Ling Ai and Huaquan and nodded friendly. "Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Feng Ling. I hope we can cooperate well in the next few days." "Hello, my name is Ling Ai. My name is Huaquan. Is your leg injured?" Feng Ling glanced at Ling Ai's leg and asked. Ling Ai smiled awkwardly. "Yes, I have been injured for more than 2 months, and it has not recovered. There was even a time when I couldn't walk at all. I can walk now, but I still feel barely able to walk." "This is for you." Feng Ling took out a bottle of potion from her pocket. She had just made it recently and had not sold it yet. "This is," Ling Ai held the potion, a little confused. "This is a medicine that is good for your legs. Don't worry, I won't give you poison for Ye Qinghan." Feng Ling joked. Ling Ai looked at Feng Ling seriously. "I know that the people brought here by the Lord will not do anything bad to us." "You do believe in your Lord?" Feng Ling glanced at Ling Ai unexpectedly. "No one in the Blood Fiend Alliance is loyal. Because of this, they are not completely convinced by her." However, this spirit wing surprised her a little. Ling Ai smiled and said, "That's because I think the Lord is very powerful. Such a powerful person will not do anything bad to us. I believe in him unconditionally because he has the strength." End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 235. Chapter 235 Goal. Feng Ling raised her eyebrows. This spirit wing is quite interesting. And this Huaquan, Ling Ai is obviously a person destined to be eliminated, but he still does not give up on his teammates. This is the person they need. But now, Feng Ling didn't say much. She just said that they should prepare well for the future competition. Ling Ai sighed and looked at the sky. Today's sky is gloomy and it looks like it's going to rain. The forest is not very comfortable when it rains, and I don't know if Miss Feng can bear it. Many girls he has seen can't stand the rainy forest, because after it rains, the forest floor will become very muddy, and if you make a mistake, you will fall down and be splashed with mud. "Okay, get ready to go," Yeqing said coldly. He looked at the small figure in the crowd and curled his lips. This group of people probably didn't know that there was a zero among them this time. If you knew it, you would probably be scared to death. After all, Zero is famous no matter where he is. Ye Qinghan smiled and then turned around. Dongzi appeared next to Ye Qinghan. "My lord, why do you suddenly want Miss Feng to participate this time? Hasn't the Lord always liked fairness and justice? If Miss Feng participated, would there be any fun? The first place this time is almost guaranteed." The team she joined is the team of Ling Ai and Huaquan. Ye Qinghan did not explain anything and only said the sentence. Dongzi suddenly understood everything. The teams of Ling Ai and Huaquan are the least favored teams among everyone. Even if it's Miss Feng, Ling Ai's legs. Dongzi frowned. He couldn't tell who would win now. "She will win," Ye Qinghan said again. "How do you know, Lord?" Dongzi was confused. Because she is zero. In Ye King Han's heart, of course his little girlfriend is invincible. Dongzi choked. Why did he suddenly feel that he was being forced to stuff a handful of dog food? Is this real? Is this really his master who is the king of with a majestic and cold face? Dongzi felt that he was confused. How far do I think she can go? 11 Mei looked at the direction Feng Ling left and complained fiercely. Genji frowned and said, Genmei, how long has it been? It's time to put your opinions on Feng Ling back. Now the Lord obviously holds Feng Ling in the palm of his hand. Dong Xie also told him privately that this Feng Ling was not an ordinary person and asked him to advise the devil not to be stubborn. Dongzi is the most rational among the four of them, so the monsters usually listen to him, and this time too. Why? Unless she promises me, Xiaomei snorted coldly, then sat down to watch on the monitor. There are monitors installed in the forest. This time, it's a team battle to see which team can survive to the end. Based on the usual results, the last one will be forced to leave the Blood Evil Alliance. Where are we going? Huaquan asked Ling Ai when they entered the forest. There. There. Feng Ling and Ling Yi pointed to the northwest almost at the same time. Huaquan glanced at Feng Ling in surprise. The same goes for spirit wings. Feng Ling blinked. What are you looking at me for? If you let me join, I will be your teammate. Don't treat me like a doll, otherwise, you will regret it. Feng Ling curled her lips. That smile, how should I say it? When Huokawa recalled it later, he could only shudder. Is this the smile of the legendary brain in the Alliance? It's so scary. Then let's go that way. We have to leave quickly, Feng Ling said. That place should be the target of many people, and we must be the first to occupy it. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 236. Chapter 236 Elimination. But Ling Ai looked at his legs and felt a sense of powerlessness in his heart. Feng Ling said, nothing to worry about. Where is the potion I gave you? You haven't taken it yet. Would you like to eat now? Ling Ai was a little confused. Feng Ling rolled her eyes. Why don't I leave it to you to eat after the game? At that time, the daylilies are all cold. Okay. Ling Ai pursed his lips in a sly voice, and then swallowed the potion. But he didn't have any expectations. Many doctors had said that his leg would not heal in a year or two. If Ling Ai and Feng Ling conveyed what these doctors said, Feng Ling would only say that they are a bunch of quack doctors. Quack doctors, are they quack doctors? It is obvious that this little ancestor is not a good person. Having a non-human brain. Feng Ling, yes, she really doesn't understand how ordinary people think, because she was destined not to be an ordinary person when she was born. Everyone, goodbye. In short, after Ling Ai drank the potion, his legs improved visibly. He looked at Feng Ling, with a hint of disbelief in his eyes. With these legs, he no longer had any hope. Unexpectedly, when this little girl came, she casually took out a bottle of medicine from her pocket and cured his chronic illness. Okay, let's go. Feng Ling curled her lips. Then he led the two confused men towards the northwest. How far behind are your scores? Feng Ling asked on the road. I'm still 10 points short, and Ling Ai is still 20 points short, Huaquan replied sheepishly. So you must stay in the top 10 this time, otherwise you will be eliminated, Feng Ling said very coldly, and the two of them could not hear any sympathy in Feng Ling's tone. Feng Ling is indeed not sympathetic, because this is the world, survival of the fittest. Especially in the world of people with special abilities. However, since they met her this time, if she didn't send them to the passing line, or even higher, then it wouldn't be her. Fen Ling smiled and said, "This time, I hope our goal is to be first." "They actually want to go to the northwest, they are really desperate," Xiao Mei said while looking at Fen Ling and the others. There have been 5 teams from the northwest, and according to her understanding, there is a disabled person in Fen Glun's team. After this, who should they be if they are not little shrimps? CMA. Dong Xia looked at CMA and sighed. Dong Xia asked him to persuade him, but now it seems that he can't persuade him. He just hopes that CMA can figure it out on his own one day. She has really been digging herself into a dead end for too long now. I want to see when they die. The death that the evil spirit refers to is after being hit by the white smoke. Fen Ling, Ling Ai and Huaquan were the second to arrive. However, unlike others, they chose the policy of bypassing the enemy's back. Of course, there is still Fen Ling on the front, she is here specifically to attract firepower. Ling Ai and Huaquan went around from behind. When the first group saw Fen Ling, everyone was very excited. Because, where there is Fen Ling, there are Ling Ai and Huaquan. However, they looked for a long time and did not see these two people. Where are Ling Ai and Huaquan? I don't know, maybe I'm separated from this woman, after all, it's a drag to take her with me. The two people in the first group communicated and felt that what they said was particularly right. Then they relaxed their vigilance. The two of them kept facing Fen Ling, trying to eliminate her. However, they did not expect that they fought many times but failed to hit Fen Ling. The two of them became anxious and were already preparing to get up and fight Fen Ling. They fought with their special abilities, but they were eliminated. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 237. Chapter 237. It doesn't matter. When the two people reacted, they realized that someone appeared from behind them. But they never expected that those two people turned out to be Ling Ai and Huaquan. Ling Ai and Huaquan themselves did not expect that one day they would be able to eliminate people in this state. They looked at each other in surprise, and they could even see each other's excitement in each other's eyes. How long has it been since they felt the joy of winning in sight? All of this was brought to them by the girl in front of them. Miss Feng, Ling Ai looked at Fen Ling with some excitement. Even coughed twice. Fen Ling pursed her lips and said, "Don't get excited. There are still people outside who are looking for us. The most important thing for us now is to hold on to our current position. Only by keeping our current position can we win in the later stage." She has already studied it. Their current position is easy to defend but difficult to attack. It is not easy for others to break in. The reason why those people didn't succeed just now is because they took it lightly. What they have to do now is to calm down and protect their position. Only in this way can physical strength be conserved. The most important thing in this game is not heads, but physical strength. Physical strength is the key to victory in the later stages. Physical strength is the key to victory in the later stage. At the same moment, Yeking-han also said from behind, "So, their choice is right. This is the best place in the entire venue." But similarly, if there is no absolute ability, and it can't be defended. So Miss Feng. Dong Xia looked at Fen Ling with some worry, but then he thought, since Miss Feng is 0, there should be no problem. In legend, the brain in the alliance is a particularly perverted woman. How far has it become perverted? It means that her brain can no longer be viewed with the brain of a normal person. Sometimes, they even wonder if Fen Ling's brain is more powerful than Einstein's. Otherwise, how could he surprise them one after another? She has no problem if Fen Ling wasn't absolutely sure, he wouldn't have stayed there with Ling Ai and the others. Yeking-han smiled, with absolute trust in Fen Ling in his eyes. This has never happened before. Ji Mei looked at all this with jealousy, and her dissatisfaction with Fen Ling had risen to the extreme. "I'll go out for a while." "What are you going to do?" the demon realized that the demon seemed to have some mood swings and stopped her. The evil spirit looked at the evil spirit irritably. Are you annoyed? You have to follow me at all times. Are you the master versus the secret guard or my little follower? The demon was scolded by the demon on the spot. He looked at the demon without making a sound. The devil rolled his eyes and said, "Don't follow me. It's none of your business what I want to do. It's best to know your own identity. I am the Lord's secret guard, not your prisoner." After saying all this, the demon left and the demon stopped pursuing him. Only when he turned around, he saw Zidu. 11. Do you leave her alone? If she wants to hit the wall, she can hit it. If she doesn't hit the south wall, she doesn't know how high or thick the wall in front of her is. Zidu has had enough evil these days. They are working partners, the closest people to the Lord in the true sense, except of course Feng Ling. Such an identity does not allow for any reverie about the Lord, but the devil has clearly crossed the line many times now. They had given her many opportunities, but she didn't want them, so she couldn't blame them. 11. Du looked at the demon's leaving figure coldly, without any sympathy in his eyes. Even if the devil leaves because of this, it has nothing to do with him. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 238. Chapter 238 Unconditional. You guys take turns keeping vigil tonight. If you have any questions, call me anytime. Okay, Miss Feng Ling. I and Huaquan nodded sensibly. Under the leadership of Feng Ling during the day, they defeated a total of 3 teams. As long as they keep up, maybe they can really stay. Ling I was very excited at the thought of staying. He touched his legs. After taking Miss Feng's medicine, he felt that his legs were much better and he no longer felt any difficulty in moving. Although it still hurts sometimes, it is still bearable. Compared to the heartbreaking pain before, this pain can be ignored at all. Ms. Feng, thank you. Ling I solemnly thanked Feng Ling. Feng Ling shook his head. You don't need to thank me. You just need to promise me that after you stay, you will work wholeheartedly for the sake of the Blood Evil Alliance and Ye King Han. That's enough. Miss Feng, don't worry. My Ling I's life belongs to the Blood Fiend Alliance and the Lord. But now, there is one more person, Miss Feng. In the future, what will Miss Feng and the Lord need Ling I for? Ling I will go through fire and water, without hesitation. And I, Huaquan, me too. Huaquan smiled naively, rubbing the back of his head. He had no abilities, just strength. He was usually fat, not very good looking, and had few friends, so Ling I regarded him as a real friend, so later on, he gradually became unwilling to make friends. Has been following Ling I, treating Ling I as his only partner. This is also the reason why he is unwilling to give up Ling I, because in his heart, Ling I has become his family. How could he leave his family behind? This is simply impossible. Okay. Feng Ling smiled and nodded. Okay, you guys sit down first. There's still time. I'll help Ling I first and then take a look. Okay, Miss Feng. Although she didn't understand what Feng Ling was going to do, Ling I sat down obediently. Feng Ling asked Huaquan to keep an eye on her first to prevent anyone from sneaking up while she was treating Ling I. I will give you acupuncture treatment now. The medicine you take today is to treat the root cause, but in order to make the effect better, I will drive the silver needle to drive the medicine in your body today. Originally, I was supposed to give you a medicinal bath, but I don't have the conditions for the time being, so I'll just wait until it's over. Miss Feng, thank you. Now, Ling I has 100% trust in Feng Ling. How can it be distrustful? Feng Ling looks like this, he is clearly a doctor who hides his secrets. Ling I felt that he was really lucky, so he met Feng Ling and made Feng Ling willing to treat him. Feng Ling used a silver needle to drive Ling I, and Ling I could fully feel the warmth in the previously painful spot on his leg, and it no longer felt uncomfortable. When Fen Ling finished, Ling Ai felt as if someone had dredged up his muscles and meridians. His legs no longer hurt at all, and he felt more powerful than before. He moved his legs excitedly, looked at Fen Ling and said, "Miss Fen, thank you, I am really, really grateful. It doesn't matter, just keep a good vigil tonight." Fen Ling waved his sleeves, not taking away a single cloud. Just, quite chic. In fact, if it weren't for Ling Ai being a man of talent and Ye King Han, Fen Ling would not have been able to take action. After all, everyone who knows her knows that she, Fen Ling, is a woman who is greedy for money. It is impossible for her, Fen Ling, to do such a job without money. Fen Ling sighed. She didn't know when she started, but she became more and more interested in helping others unconditionally. Well, okay, in a practical sense, it's not like helping others unconditionally. Fen Ling smiled, laughing at herself. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 239. Chapter 239. Why? One night passed, nothing happened. It was very quiet, but such quietness made Fen Ling feel something was wrong for no reason, so she woke up around 4 in the morning. It was Ling Ai in the second half of the night, so I was a little surprised to see Fen Ling getting up so early. "Miss Fen, won't you take a nap?" Fen Ling shook her head. "No, I'm here to take a look at the situation." "Give me the telescope." "Okay." Ling Ai obediently handed the binoculars to Fen Ling. Fen Ling put it on her eyes and used her auxiliary skills calmly. In an instant, her entire field of vision became like an infrared detector. Not far away, the traces of Xiao Mei and others, who were protected by people with special abilities, could be seen at a glance. Fen Ling clearly remembered that high-level special ability users like Xiao Mei and others were unable to participate in this competition. But now, they have appeared around her. If you want to say that there is no problem, then she, the brain of the alliance, can really let others do it. "What's wrong, Miss Fen? Is something wrong?" Ling Ai saw Fen Ling looking at her for a long time and felt a little nervous. There was no one when he was watching, but now that Miss Fen has been watching for so long, could it be that he missed something? Fen Ling took down the telescope with a sullen expression. "It's nothing, it has nothing to do with you, it's because someone is too ambitious." The appearance of the evil spirit must have been without Ye King Han's consent. The reason why she had not taken action against the demon before was because she had been with Ye King Han for a long time, and besides, feelings were indeed something that no one could control. But now, she is clearly using her position to prepare for favoritism. Then, the existence of such a subordinate is a hidden danger for any leader. In this case, she judged that there was no need to let the demon stay. "Ling Ai, what do you think of the position of Ye King Han's personal guard?" "Miss Fen, is what I have always longed for. It should be that she was what he had been longing for before he was injured. After the injury, he faced problems even staying in the Blood Evil Alliance, so how could he be qualified to long for a personal secret guard? What's more, his abilities are indeed not as good as those of Dongxia and the other four." Fen Ling smiled and said nonchalantly, "Just think about it. Someone doesn't want to do it now, so defeat her and the position will be yours." What Miss Feng said she didn't want to do is. Ling Ai was a little confused. Fen Ling said, "Shame. I will give you the position at 30 degrees east by south. I hope you can work with Wakwan to solve the rest. I am a person with auxiliary special abilities. If you have any needs, I will provide them from behind. You don't need to consider whether my special abilities are enough. You only need to consider how to use my abilities." So, the range of Miss Feng's special ability assistance is. I will attack in all directions without distinction, but as long as I want, I can protect you from getting hurt. By the way, I forgot to tell you that while I am a support system special ability user, I am also an attack system special ability user. But this time I don't plan to use the attack ability, so you need to think about how to allocate the auxiliary special abilities. Feng Ling smiled, raised her hand, and a white light drifted in front of Ling Ai's eyes. Then, the two people could see the location of the demon at a glance. Ling Ai opened his mouth wide, as if he couldn't believe that someone could have such an amazing skill. However, it turns out that someone does. Furthermore, when she thought of the dual special abilities of attack and assistance mentioned by Feng Ling, Ling Ai felt ashamed. Is this the child of other people in today's world? He suddenly understood why the Lord liked Feng Ling. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 240. Chapter 240 Very stupid. It's because the Lord himself is also a child of other people's families, and children of other people's families are attracted to each other. Ling Ai nodded, indicating that he understood, and then began to make strategic arrangements with Huaquan. On the other side, Ye Qinghan looked at Feng Ling and frowned. Dongzi realized something was wrong with Ye Qinghan and asked, "My lord, what's wrong with you?" "Look, where are the others?" Ye Qinghan ordered Dongzi. Dongzi nodded, and then everyone's location had red dots, which were their positioning information, so everyone's information was quickly found out. At the same moment, Dongxie also knew what Ye Qinghan was frowning at, because, according to the red dots, there was no one around Feng Ling at all, and the closest one would arrive in half an hour. So, what are they preparing now? Feng Ling clearly discovered something. Not only Feng Ling, but Ling Ai Huaquan should also have discovered it. They also had other people mixed in during this test. Find it out. Ye Qinghan's voice lowered. They all knew that Ye Qinghan was probably angry. If he wasn't angry, Ye Qinghan would not speak to them in this voice. Dongzi nodded, okay. 5 minutes later, Dongzi looked at the woman on the screen with a complicated expression. "My lord, she is a demon." Boom. In an instant, the surrounding air became a little colder. Dongzi did not speak for the demon again this time. What the Lord hates most is someone making their own decisions. This time, the demon has really stepped on the Lord's bottom line. "Do you want me to capture the evil spirit?" "My lord," Dongxie asked. "No need, Lingling will solve it." Ye Qinghan used the word solve, which means that from this moment on, the evil spirit is no longer a living person, but a living dead. In Ye Qinghan's case, she no longer belongs to the Blood Fiend Alliance. Looked at the charm in the back, and didn't seem to believe that she had no brain to break into the scene of others. Does she know how much the Lord pays attention to this game? Especially Miss Feng Ling, the Lord will not let go of the slightest disturbance, but what about her? She actually planned to kill Miss Feng without telling the Lord. Zhenmei called out Zhenmei's name in pain, but it was a pity that now Zhenmei couldn't hear his cry at all. "Miss Feng, can you give us attack bonus and defense bonus?" Go. Feng Ling nodded and casually threw 2 white light over. Ling Ai and Huaquan felt warm on their bodies, and they clearly felt that their strength had increased. The white light group around him should be a protective shield. I don't know if it was Ling Yi's illusion, but he always felt that the white light given by Feng Ling not only increased attack and defense. In the subsequent fight with the devil, Ling Ai confirmed this, and at the same time, he admired Feng Ling even more. He has heard that there is a shortage of all-round auxiliaries in this world than those with special abilities in the auxiliary system. Even now, except for Zero, there seems to be no omnipotent special ability user. But Miss Feng just made him feel like an all-powerful user with special abilities. This is awesome. Ling Ai covered up his admiration for Feng Ling in his heart, and then fought with the devil. Ji Mei didn't expect that they would find it so quickly. Her original plan was to expose Fen Ling and the others' hiding place, but now her own hiding place was exposed, which made CMA very, 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 very unhappy. Fen Ling, how did you discover me? What do you think? Fen Ling's expression was indifferent, as if the question was silly. End of this chapter.